Daniel tightened his grip on the steering wheel as he drove slowly through the quiet streets, the back seat of his car piled high with brightly wrapped gifts for his little girl. Christmas Eve always felt bittersweet. His daughter's excitement filled him with joy, but the empty passenger seat reminded him of the wife he had lost too soon. He sighed, turning down a side street, when something caught his eye. Under the dim glow of a flickering street lamp, a young woman crouched beside a dumpster behind a diner. Her thin coat barely shielded her from the biting cold, and her hands trembled as she dug through discarded bags. Daniel slowed to a stop, his heart twisting. For a moment, he thought about driving on, but something in the way she moved, hesitant, desperate, yet careful, pulled him in. He stepped out of his car, the crunch of snow announcing his presence. The woman startled, clutching a stale sandwich she had just found. Her eyes met his, wide, ashamed, and frightened. Daniel expected her to beg or make excuses, but instead she whispered, "I'm not looking for me. I just need something to take to my little brother. He hasn't eaten since yesterday." Those words hung in the frozen air, piercing deeper than the winter wind. Daniel felt an ache in his chest, as though fate had stopped him here for a reason. In that instant, Christmas changed, not about the gifts waiting at home, but about the lives right in front of him. Daniel took a step closer, his breath visible in the frigid air. The woman held the sandwich tighter, as though afraid he might take it away. Her cheeks were red from the cold, her eyes rimmed with exhaustion, yet there was something fierce in the way she spoke of her brother. "Where is he?" Daniel asked gently. She hesitated, her lips trembling. "In the shelter, they had no more food tonight. I promised him I'd bring something back. He's only 10. The weight of her words hit Daniel harder than he expected. He thought of his own daughter, warm at home with hot cocoa waiting, unaware that another child just her age was going to bed hungry. The woman's voice cracked as she added, "I don't want money. I just want him to feel like Christmas still means something." Daniel swallowed hard. For years, he had buried himself in work, in wealth, in trying to fill the silence his wife's absence left behind. But standing there in the snow, he realized how easy it was to forget that while he had more than enough, others had nothing. He looked at her, not as a stranger digging through trash, but as a sister fighting to keep hope alive for her family. And in that moment, Daniel knew he couldn't walk away. Something inside him whispered that this meeting wasn't by chance, it was a choice, a chance to let kindness change 2 lives, and maybe his own. Daniel stood there for a long moment, his mind wrestling between the life he lived and the reality in front of him. He thought of the warm fire waiting at home, the feast he had planned, the stack of gifts wrapped in shining paper. None of it seemed to matter when compared to a boy in a shelter with an empty stomach. He remembered his late wife's last Christmas, how she had clasped his hand and whispered, "Promise me you'll raise her to be kind, promise me she'll know love is bigger than wealth." That memory rushed back now, sharp and clear. His throat tightened. "Come with me," he finally said. The woman blinked, startled. "What? Both of you? You and your brother? You shouldn't be out here tonight." She shook her head, unsure whether to trust him. "I can't. I don't even know you." Daniel's voice softened. "My name is Daniel. I'm just a dad, trying to make Christmas special for my little girl. Let me do the same for your brother. Please." Tears welled in her eyes, not from fear, but from the unfamiliar kindness of a stranger offering more than spare change. Slowly, she nodded. At that moment, Daniel felt something shift within him. He wasn't rescuing someone out of pity, he was honoring his wife's wish, teaching his daughter what Christmas truly meant. It wasn't about what you had, but about what you gave. And tonight, he chose to give. The drive back to Daniel's home was quiet, broken only by the sound of the heater humming and the faint sniffles of the woman beside him. When they arrived, her little brother stepped hesitantly out of the car, his eyes wide as he gazed at the glowing house draped in twinkling lights. Inside, the warmth wrapped around them like a blanket. The smell of roasted turkey and cinnamon filled the air, and a tall Christmas tree sparkled in the corner, its ornaments shimmering with memories of happier years. Daniel's daughter, Emma, ran to greet them, her laughter echoing through the room. "Daddy, who are they?" she asked, clutching her teddy bear. "There are guests tonight," Daniel replied with a smile. "Can you show them the tree?" Emma's face lit up, and soon she was holding the boy's hand, guiding him toward the glittering ornaments and wrapped presents. For the first time that evening, the boy's face broke into a shy smile. The woman sat at the table, her eyes filling with tears as Daniel placed a plate before her, food warm and plentiful. She whispered, almost to herself, "It feels like a dream." As laughter and chatter filled the house, Daniel watched the scene unfold. Something deep inside him stirred. This wasn't just charity. This was family, strangers becoming connected by kindness, by the simple act of sharing a meal. And for the first time in years, Daniel felt the empty space in his heart begin to heal. Midnight neared, and the house glowed with the soft warmth of Christmas. Emma and the boys sat on the floor, giggling as they built towers out of toy blocks, their innocence filling the room with joy. Daniel leaned against the doorway, watching them, a quiet smile tugging at his lips. The woman set down her fork, unable to eat another bite, and looked at him with tearful eyes. "You didn't just give us food," she said softly. "You gave us back something I thought we lost a long time ago, hope." Her words sank deep into Daniel's chest, echoing louder than the carols playing faintly in the background. He glanced at his daughter, who was now showing her new friend how to hang an ornament on the tree, and he realized the truth: this was the kind of Christmas his wife had always dreamed of. Not about gifts or grand gestures, but about love that reached beyond your own walls. For years, Daniel had believed his wealth was what kept his daughter safe and happy. But tonight proved otherwise. The greatest gift wasn't money, or presents, or even the home he had built, it was compassion. It was the choice to see others, to welcome them in, to remind them they were not forgotten. As the clock struck 12, Daniel whispered to himself, "This is what Christmas is meant to be." And in that moment, surrounded by laughter, warmth, and newfound family, he finally believed it.